Well, hey folks, and welcome to Solar Cabin Channel. Fair warning, what I'm going to show you today is extremely dirty and may even be illegal someplace. What I'm talking about here is my Japanese soaking tub that I'm putting in this mudroom. And I've had a lot of people interested in this because what I'm using here is an 80-gallon Rubbermaid stock tank. Now these are made for watering horses and cows. They're not really designed for tubs, but they actually work perfect for a small off-grid cabin or a tiny house on wheels, so I've had a lot of people interested in this project. Now, it's really dirty because what I've been doing is I bathed in here this last time, and that's soapy water that's left in there. And the issue, as you can see, is the drain hole is down there at the bottom, or down there on the side. See it? That's the drain hole down there. And these are designed so that they sit on the ground, and the water would normally, they would drain them out that far, and then they just tip out the water if they need to move them for a horse trough. But I'm not using it for a horse trough. I'm using it for a bathtub. And I certainly don't want all that dirty water hanging out in the bottom of the tub each time. So I'm going to be putting in a floor drain, and what I'm going to be using is a 1.5 inch sink tailpipe. You can get these at Amazon, and it comes with, it has a lip. You can see it's got a lip on the edge there. And it's 1.5 inches, and it's a foot long. I think it's 12 inches long. And you see, I told you this video was going to be dirty. And you put this through the bottom of the tub through a hole. Now you got to drill a hole in order to put it through the bottom of the tub. And to do that, you're going to need one of these kits, or you might be able to buy the hole saw separately. I'm going to be using that 1.5 inch hole saw, and these are commonly used for installing doors. For putting your own doors in doors that have not been pre-drilled or pre-cut. You use these, and you can see it's got a sharp edge bit on it. And then you attach that to your drill, and you just drill through, and it pulls out the core plug. And it works really well on wood or PVC. So I'm going to be using that to drill a 1.5 inch hole in the bottom of this tub. Now the other thing that you're going to need is some caulk. Man, did I tell you this video was going to be dirty? Okay, you're going to need some all-purpose caulk. C-A-U-L-K, used for tubs, sinks. See if I can get this so you can see it here. Used for tubs, sinks, and things like that. Windows, I'm also going to be using this on my windows. So you need a tube of caulk to put your drain in. And the thing I would warn you about if you're doing this project, you want to make sure that when you're drilling your hole that whatever is underneath your floor isn't electrical wiring or plumbing that you're going to be hitting, or any studs. I built this room so I know where the studs are. See that stud right there? The stud that runs across the floor is about in the same place, so I know that I can put this drain just almost in the center in this end over here. That's where I'm going to be installing the drain. So what I got to do is I got to drain all this water out, and then I'm going to be pulling this tub out, because the other project I'm going to work on today, while I have the tub out, I've shown you this Gasland on-demand water heater, and a lot of people are using these, especially for off-grid. They run off propane, they run off very low-flow water, and so they're excellent for off-gridders or tiny houses that might be using a 12-volt pump. And I've used one in my cabin for almost 10 years without a single problem with it. And this one is a Gasland, and it comes with the shower hose. There's the shower head up there, and the shower head disconnects from that hose, and I just drop it in the tub when I want to take a bath. And it will get really hot. I put it on low, and it took it up to 105 degrees in about a half hour. I had a full tub and ready to go. Now, but these are designed specifically for off-grid or for outside use. And so they're not designed to be placed in a tight area where you might get carbon monoxide buildup. Even though they use the same burners as the burners that are in the approved inside gas stoves, they still don't come with a vent, so they can't be used inside according to their specifications. However, I'm an off-gridder, and I live where there are no codes, so I can get away with doing this. So like I said, this may be illegal in some places, or at least you want to make sure that you're doing it correctly. So this is my suggestion for how I'm going to be doing it here at my off-grid location. I'm going to be using a 4-inch elbow. I also got this as Ace Hardware, it's $3. This is just a simple 4-inch, commonly called a stovepipe elbow, okay? And I'm going to be putting that, because this has a 4-inch opening at the top for the vent. I'm just going to slide this over the top of that, and I'm going to vent it right out that back wall. And that will take care of my venting. And then I will also just like I have in my cabin. I will have a carbon monoxide detector in here, just in case there's any buildup. But I've used these stoves for years, and I can tell you, they really put off very, very little carbon monoxide. And once I get this vent installed up there, it will vent off anything. Toxic fumes of carbon monoxide will go right out the back of that stove right there, or that on-demand water heater, and right out the wall. So that's my project for today. So now I'm going to drain all this dirty water out of here, and I'm going to put that 12-inch drain pipe in here, and then I'm going to caulk it. So pay attention to what I'm doing here, and know that some of this may be illegal where you're at. So let's get busy on this project. Okay folks, before I move on to this tub project, I just wanted to show you how I installed that vent above that Gasland OD water heater. And that is just a 4-inch elbow, and I cut the hole through the wall, and I can tell you this little unit here, that is that 1.5-inch hole saw, came in real handy for that project because, excuse me, I had to pre-drill a hole through the wall because there's a sheet of OSB and then there's a sheet of sheathing on the outside. So I pre-drilled the hole, and then I just used my jigsaw and cut around the hole. Now, first I put the vent up there and just kind of did some guidelines, and then I drew around it. And then I cut it just slightly bigger than the vent, and then just put the whole thing back up together. So that is now venting the OD water heater. So that's how that project went. Okay, folks, so there is the bathtub hole, the drain hole drilled through. And I just used that 1.5-inch hole saw. And you can see the plug is still stuck in there. In order to get the plug out, all you have to do is just unscrew that bolt right there, and then it'll pop right loose. Now, that hole had to be drilled through the tub and down through the OSB flooring. And so you want to make sure, like I said, I want to remind you again, make sure that you don't have any electrical wiring, plumbing, or a stud that you're going to be drilling through when you go through this. Otherwise, you're going to have problems. Now, I know what they say, that longer is better. But in this case, that tailpipe that I'm using for the vent was too long. It was a foot long, and so I cut it down to about half of that. And so I'm going to be using that, and as you can see, okay, so as you can see, it fits right into the drain hole right there. And then I'm going to be using this caulk to put in the tub. And this is just caulk mastic used for tubs, sinks, windows, trim, and more. So before I slide that all the way down in, I'm just going to put a squirt around that real good around the outside edge, and then it'll all be good to go. Now you're going to need some type of either PVC pipe, which is designed for, or I happen to have this old pool hose, which is designed for outside use. It'll actually hold up to a lot of abuse. And so I'm going to be using this hose and hook that to that bottom of that drain down there, and then I can run that out so that I can water the lawn out here. And I'm also going to keep that side drain that I have down there. I decided I'm going to keep both of them on, and I'll have a plug on this one that I'll never use except when I drain it. And that way I can run a hose out that side of the house to water that side of the lawn, and another hose on that drain on that side of the house, so I can water both sides of my lawn from the water in this tub, which is about 80 gallons of water. So that's a lot of water for watering lawns. Now the only thing I want to tell you when you're installing these, like in a tight space like this, is that make sure you leave enough room. You see I left enough room on both sides and the end over there so that I can put my bathboard in. Okay, so I just pulled it out a little ways from the wall to make sure I had enough room for that. Because what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to build a surround that goes all the way around, this nice wood surround after I get the bath walls in. And it will come clear out to the front here about probably 6 or 8 inches, probably about 8 inches from the front. And why I'm doing that is because I'm old with a bad back, and stepping in as I get older is going to be a lot harder to step into a tub. So I will have a nice flat edge here where I can just sit on this edge and turn my feet around to get into the tub and to get out, which is a lot safer for people if you have bad backs or bad knees like I do. All right, folks, that's it for this project. Hope you enjoyed it and got a kick out of some of the humor. Just so you know, it's a weekend and I was bored, so I thought I'd make this video and entertain you a little bit. So I guess the only thing that's left to do with this video, since it is all about being dirty and doing illegal projects, is I better show you how it is used and show you some naked bodies, right? All right, folks, this is how Lamar takes a bath in his Japanese hot tub, and I'm really going to enjoy it. So I'm just going to sit back and soak and relax, turn the music on, and enjoy the rest of the day. Thanks for coming by, folks.